Arion Carter named one of the top 50 newcomers in college football. Good for Arion. This according to ESPN. But it's hard for me to fathom in these transfer portal days, that there aren't 50 transfer guys. I'm not knocking Arion at all. And this is coming from, I'm sure, Tennessee's coaches via ESPN. But Arion being on the top 50 surprises me a little bit. Any other Vols represented on that list, Caleb?
No, and that was the most shocking part about this, is because I would have thought Dont'e Thornton would be higher on the list than Arion Carter.
Set you up for that. You're right at the net, spiked it down. It's exactly true. I don't understand how you can't have Dont'e Thornton on this list, but you can have Arion Carter. That is a bit of a conundrum to me.
That's got to be coming from the coaches. I mean, I have great respect for ESPN's reporters, but I have serious doubts that they have attended every single football practice for every team and analyzed every single newcomer for every player. I don't think they've done that.
Pardon the interruption, is taking a 24-day hiatus. My wife asked me why, and I said it's because they fired all their good talent. So, no, they didn't have a reporter there. I mean, Chris Lowe would be that guy, but he's got to cover the whole SEC. So, no, they have not had a reporter there every day at practice. So you're right. They have no insight other than something that was fed to them. Listen, I think Arion Carter can be on the list. I'm curious if you just kind of do a quick glance of the top few and who from the SEC is on the list. And then who stands out to you as far as being a freshman? Because it's really difficult for a freshman to make this list in the transfer portal days.
Yes, I'm going through the top 10 now, and every top 10 player is a transfer. Omar Spates from Oregon State to LSU was the highest SEC one. And then Devin Leary to Kentucky. I mean, Denver Harris from A&M to LSU. Dave, I'm going through the top 20, and I still don't see a freshman on here. I'm just scrolling to look for the first freshman. And, okay, Caleb Downs at Alabama. But I've heard a lot of good things about Caleb Downs. I mean, that guy's the next superstar All-American of Alabama. Legendary secondary. He's going to be right up there with the greatest secondary players in Nick Saban history.
Wow, that's strong stuff. That's strong stuff. So all of the top 10 are transfers. What position was Arion Carter again?
Arion Carter was number 44. I don't know where he ranked among freshmen, but he was number 44 overall.
It's just hard for me to. I mean, if I said, "Hey, Caleb, I'll pay your mortgage if you can come up with 50 players that are going to have a bigger impact than Dont'e Thornton," I bet you couldn't do it. I don't think I could.
50 newcomers?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. And, the thing that threw me off was, so Carnell Tate's on this list at 42, who we all know Tennessee lost out on to Ohio State recruiting him. But Carnell Tate is going to a loaded receiver room. He's not going to play this year.
No, there's 3 first-round picks on that roster at Ohio State.
Yeah, so I'm not.
So should we just dismiss this at all? If we're going to, let's not put the author's name in the title of it, because we've done that once before. And the author of said article that we ripped one day and asked him to be on the next day, he said, "Just FYI, take it easy on me. I saw the video you did." Oh, sorry, Adam.
No, I don't take it easy on people. Hey, we got him on the show. It worked.
That's true. That's true. So who wrote this? Who are we questioning?
This is Tom Van Haren wrote this. And the top 3 makes sense. Travis Hunter, Sam Hartman, Shedeur Sanders, the 2 Colorado transfers, and the quarterback from Wake Forest and Notre Dame. All of those make sense.
So let me ask the message board for a second, because I'm in a journalistic conundrum here. I would like to have Tom on. I know Tom primarily focuses on recruiting. Maybe that benefits him. Maybe that doesn't. In these type of lists, I don't think it does. But I would have trouble actually interviewing him and without saying, what the H? How in the world is Dont'e Thornton not on this list ahead of Arion Carter? How is Arion Carter ahead of Dont'e Thornton? I mean, this almost seems like an oversight.
Also, and he hasn't won the job yet, but I would have Tyler Buckner at Alabama over Arion Carter, a lot of these guys, the Notre Dame transfer at quarterback. I mean, Dave, he's going to win the job, isn't he?
Yeah, I would think so. Let me ask you this: would you, if Tennessee's top newcomers, okay, would we agree that Dont'e Thornton and Arion Carter, in no specific order, are 1-2? Would we agree?
Keenan Peely too. Keenan Peely.
Okay.
Which
Keenan
throws
Peely,
me up even more because Keenan Peely is going to start over Arion Carter, and he would be counting as a newcomer.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say they're the top 3. Can we do that? Let's say they're the top 3. Who's 4? And by the way, it's brought to you by Andy Mason, AndyMasonRealEstate.com. Best prices and service in the biz. Trust me with AndyMasonRealEstate.com. Support our advertisers. It's why we're here. AndyMasonRealEstate.com. More than 40 years in the real estate business in his office. AndyMasonRealEstate.com. Who's 4?
Oh, John Campbell Jr.
Okay. Agreed. I don't know if he's going to be as good of a player as the other 3 we've mentioned, but agreed. He fills a position of need at left tackle. Who's 5? We've never had this.
I'm going to go Gabe jeudy-lally.
I love Gabe jeudy-lally. Have I told you that? I think he's and I don't know if we've discussed it. I think he's, from what I've heard, kind of like your Trey Flowers, except he's not going to be locked into one position. So Caleb brought up a great point that Trey Flowers was actually underrated last year. And turns out he had myositis, so he was affected physically by that. But Caleb was right. Trey Flowers, I think, was covering for a lot of problems in the secondary. I think Gabe jeudy-lally is going to be able to do that, but he'll be able to do it from free, strong, nickel, maybe some corner if they need him. I think he's very versatile. So I love Gabe jeudy-lally. That was a good call out.
Yeah. We might as well. I was actually going to say this for next week. We're already going into it, so we might as well dive in, like most impactful transfers, maybe. But like that's the top 4, and then Andres Carrick is still on the offensive line. But I don't know. He's still like we see Cooper Mays get hurt, and I still don't hear anything about Andres Carrick being out there on the line at guard right now. So that seems like one that may not have worked out. And then you go to the defensive side, Omar Norman Lott. Is that a transfer that you just think was just a loss? Or do you think that?
I don't think it's a loss. I think he plays. I just think it's a deep unit.
Okay.
I feel this. I don't think Carrick's a loss at this point. I think it's a little bit surprising he didn't come in and just grab the position at left guard.
Yeah, and that's somewhat of a red flag.
Yeah.
And so it's and there are some red flags. That's that way with the NFL. I mean, it's. If you're an NFL team, for instance, I mean, we love Darnell Wright. We think he was amazing last year, but it's a red flag that he waited till his senior year when he was having to go to the draft before he decided to flip his switch.
So D said Ethan Davis. I think Ethan Davis has a chance to be a once a decade type of tight end. But he is so raw right now. If he plays much at all this season, it'll be sparingly. He has a long way to go. He is the basketball type who's a great athlete who can play tight end. So I think it's going to be some time before Ethan Davis. But next year, when we're having this conversation, I think we'll talk about Ethan Davis as one of the most exciting players on Tennessee's roster. So, and also that's one of the things that'll be in the ball report. I want to ask Jake about some of the things that Ethan Davis said about basically being a big brother. I thought that was incredibly strong. The ball report with Jacob Warren is brought to you by our friends at Bassey Lawn and Garden. Man alive, it is worth the drive.